And good morning to you. Back to the morning show. We have George Breece and Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Kirk deViere, with us. George and I had this conversation a little while ago, and was doing the filing period, and he was going to come after everybody filed, and we were going to have a little discussion. You know, George is like our political guru here.
Far from that, just an observer. Just an observer.
Well, you're an experienced observer. I'll put it like that.
Maybe that might be right.
Anyways,
ain't no guru to me.
Also, this morning we have producing for us Reverend Paul Matthews. So thank you all so much for tuning in with us on today. Weather's going to be warming up a little bit right there. It's supposed to be 66 tomorrow, gentlemen. And but I believe that's going to turn around. So there's some long forecasters saying that January is certainly going to be colder than December. So we'll see about that. But anyway, good morning to each of you, sirs.
Good to be with you and good to be with Kirk.
Good to be here, and always a pleasure to be with Mr. Breece. And he'll say, that's my daddy. Call me George.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, look.
Can I start out by just giving the normal what's happening?
Sure.
5 weeks from today is early voting. Do you know how fast that comes on?
That's fast track.
I mean, five weeks, and 8 weeks for the primary.
That's true.
It's coming up on them, and we've got county commissioner races, both district and at large. We've got state legislative races. As one is not bad. We got some judicial races. We got congressional races. I mean, we've got the sheriff's race. We got all kinds of races, and of course, just so your listeners know, there are 218,800 voters in Cumberland County.
Right.
83,700 of them are unaffiliated. 82,500 are Democrat, and 50,700 are Republicans. And how that's turned around. Now, there were some other parties, the Green Party and the Blue Party and every other kind of party. Those kind of got moved into the unaffiliated, but still unaffiliated is just growing expeditiously.
They are.
In Cumberland County and in North Carolina, by the way.
Right. Oh, so, of course, North Carolina is big, and like I was sharing with you before we started, for the first time ever, Democrats are no longer the majority political group in North Carolina. They fall behind unaffiliates and Republicans. That's quite interesting.
Well, the key is unaffiliated if you're running for office. The gentleman sitting right across from us has proven that. You got to reach across the aisle, you got to work across the aisle, Democrat, Republican, whatever, but the unaffiliated voter is the one that decides the elections in North Carolina now. It's not the party activist.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, and people think they're unaffiliated. That means they don't have left or right leaning views or conservative or progressive views, and they do. They do. A lot of people just become unaffiliated because they're tired of the parties. They're tired of what comes with it, and they're tired of being labeled. But their views are the same, and so you got to talk to them like you talk to everybody else. They care about they care about their pocketbooks. They care about schools. They care about education of their children. They care about infrastructure. They care about all those things, whether you're at the state level, local level. And I think sometimes people forget that, or they say, "Oh, don't go talk to the unaffiliated people." What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, they're important voters. But when I'm talking to them, though, I just say to them, but you still, if you want to get some legislation passed, you still got to caucus with one side or the other.
Yeah, if you are elected as
if you're elected.
But
I'm saying, but even the voters, if they want something done, they're going to have to go to one side or the other. You know what I mean? I mean, if you can agree with that. I mean, if they go to Raleigh and they want something done, they're going to have to get either the Democrat Party or the Republican. Well, at this point, they have to get the Republican Party.
To George's point, you're going to have to go work across the aisle.
Sure, right.
And people, you'll hear a lot of people this campaign season talk about it, but actually show me the ones that have actually done it. There's a difference in talking about
Charles Smith has done it.
Reaching across the aisle, or actually doing it with action.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, though, what's going to happen if they do it? Because what happened to you when you did it?
Yeah, that's a whole other topic in itself.
Well, I'm going to say, because it's in the news today. Governor Stein is going after Representative Cunningham in Charlotte.
He's getting deViered.
Yeah, the verb across the
deViered. That's how they're referring to it, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, well, I call him
But you're seeing on the other side too now. Trump, or be fair now, Troy. Trump does the same thing. He'll wade into Republican.
I know that. I know that. I know that.
That's the problem with the parties right now is that they want to jump into these primaries and create these. The political machines or the politicians are picking who the candidates are, and that's the only way to get through a primary now.
Well, it used to be, and
that way.
And George can attest to this, that they would stay out of the primaries because you don't want to divide the party.
Right.
And then everybody got behind the nominee. But I think that both parties are doing themselves an injustice when they get involved in the primary process, because when they come out of the primary process, people are still mad about how they were treated. And, that's...
Yeah, I mean, I will say, here in the state of North Carolina, when you look at the state parties, I mean, and it's my party, Democrats have been the only ones that have really weighed into the primary in endorsing, and you saw it begin to trickle. It's one thing for, I'm a candidate or I'm an elected official and I endorse somebody. That's your own opinion. But when a party or an affiliation of the party begins to wade in and do that, and you did not see that, and you brought it up, so I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
You did not see that happen until Governor Cooper weighed into my race, and then it became, well, if the leader of the party can do it, then the party can do it.
Yeah,
Forget about
Kirk.
about the organizational document of the party that says you're not supposed to do that. The leader of the party did it. So hey, if you're the Young Dems, if you're this caucus, that caucus, we're just going to endorse and do whatever we want. I mean, it's
changed the dynamic for sure. It really did.
Yeah, but the thing is though, but you send a person there that does nothing for the community at all. They get nothing done, and the voters seem like don't have a problem with that. George, I mean, help me out with that. I mean, make it make sense.
Yeah, I just think it's a bad. I mean, primaries are there for a reason. Is to allow people with different opinions, different experience, or maybe like experience to have a conversation, to have aggressive conversations about policy, about what they believe that needs to happen, and let the voters decide. There can't be a finger on the scale, and unfortunately that's what you see. And then you throw in groups like C4 groups, these black money groups, the dark money groups,
right.
And it just becomes even worse. It's where we are politically, and unfortunately in our state you see it more on the Democrat side than you see on the Republican side.
Mm-hmm.
But nationally you see it a lot on the Republican side as well, when you start looking at how some of these races are being targeted across the nation, because the balance of Congress hangs in 2 or 3 states. The balance of governors hangs in 2 or 3 states. And then when you drill down into a state legislature, they're the ones controlling the congressional lines. So you've seen these battle for congressional lines like we saw here and in Texas and in California and everywhere else.
George?
Yeah. Amen. That's all I can say.
Well, George.
Sorry, that one's a little personal for me.
No. We good. George, let's talk a little bit about this last filing period that went from December 1 to
19th.
To 19th at noon. Did anything out of that surprise you?
Mm-mm.
No. So you knew that was going to be what? 5 people running?
You knew most incumbents were going to file, whether they filed the first day or the last day.
True.
We only had one of the finest elected officials in my lifetime to serve in county government, Jeanette Council.
Yeah, District 1, right.
Decided not to run. And, let's just take a moment and say thank you, Jeanette.
That's true.
She always stood tall.
She doesn't get the credit for everything she's done. She did a lot.
A lot.
Yeah, we're
going to make sure she gets the recognition.
Right.
I hope so.
Right.
Yeah, she most deserving. But the incumbents, you've got some people running for. Let's just talk about county commissioner.
I think that's a very interesting. Because I write for Up and Coming. My next article, where I've already turned it in, is about that. I think that for us, that's probably the biggest race we have is the race for county commission.
Well, I would say that the sheriff's race is an important
race. It's an important one, yes.
Very important race. But the county commissioners are where the rubber meets the road.
Sure.
It's where decisions are made.
The budget.
And unmade.
Right.
And they you know, it is the rubber meets the road. You've got, in my opinion, a person that's running for at-large that is almost like an incumbent, even though he's not. He's been elected, 6 times countywide in a nonpartisan race. I think Greg West is going to be
Correct.
someone who's going to be electable for sure at large. And then on the Democratic side, you've got half a dozen people.
Yep.
Charles Evans has always been a person that's had a constituency like none other. He just has. It's
Right.
the way he works the room, I say it.
Right.
In fact, I think he's got an event coming up down on Elizabethtown Road next week. But then you've got the incumbent vice chair.
Right.
You've got, others who have served on the board. Marshall, who's been the chair and the vice chair.
That's right.
And then you just go down that list of other people. Tony, who's been on the board.
She served the term in District 2.
Somebody's going to come up short.
And you got Mario Benavente.
Yeah.
And
never sell him short.
that's right. The only person that has never been elected out of that whole bunch is William Wesley, who has ties to the mayor as his campaign manager.
George, you would know. I don't recall a time when you had 4 former electeds from the same from a board that are rerunning again against.
May
each
I
other.
just say in capital letters, NEVER. Never had that been what it is.
It's amazing. It's amazing how much energy there is around county commissioners races now.
You
It used
did
to
that,
fly
man.
under
Well,
the radar.
That's your fault.
That's really
You
happened.
did that.
Because, let's be honest. That's happened because of the work of this year's.
I know, that's what I'm saying, for real. You guys did that. Y'all made it important. And I feel like that the Board of Commissioners has always been probably the more important legislative body for us here locally. But people are paying attention to it now, man.
Well, they've done what needed to be done.
Correct.
And they tried to bring everybody to the table. You got to count to 4, but it's really great when it's 7. But if you ever watch the county commissioners' meetings, there's more unanimous votes than there is 5-2 or 4-3. But what you've got right now, is you have got, a majority plus 1 of a group that's looking in the same direction. Now, you have a couple of other people who come over on votes, but there's a very positive split for the progress that's being made. And the progress is being made by our board and by our chair. That's the bottom line. You can call it what you want, but the fact that this change took place, and it rapidly took place. You remember when Kirk was elected elected chair.
Correct.
At his first meeting, people were saying, "Oh, what's going on here?" And what is going on here is there's a new way.
Right. I was there.
And in my opinion, a better way. No disrespect to anybody that served in the past.
Correct. Right.
But this county commissioner group is moving forward. And you either get on board or you don't, but they have the wind in their sails.
Right.
And so,
And it's interesting. I've read an editorial piece in a local paper that talked about. I read an editorial piece in a local paper by a local columnist, and he talked about that potentially change. Well, I kind of look at it as, even if there is change, and we know we're at least going to have 1 new member, those people coming aboard want the same kind of things. I'm assuming they want good schools, and they want clean water, and they want public safety, and they want mental health. So they just need to, come up with our strategic plan is pretty straight. Let's move forward. Jump on the team and let's go. Put the shovel on the ground and do some work with us. So it'll be interesting to see how people come aboard, and join the team. And I think, I'm optimistic that those are the things that most people want. I'm interested to listen to the candidates speak about those issues and where they land on those issues. Do they want to be part of the momentum, or do they want to speak out against what hasn't been done? It'll be interesting. I'll put it that way.
Wouldn't you say that of all the people running for county commissioner in the at-large and district race, Kirk, wouldn't you say that all of them want what's best for Cumberland County? There's nobody there among that group of people who doesn't want what's best. I mean, it's just not
In your own mind, I say it like that.
I understand that.
But look, we need to take a quick break. We'll come back.
We gotta go back to District 1.
I just feel like that. I was. People heard it themselves. There's some people who want to go back and revisit what happened downtown.
I think at some point during this show that we at least need to address the sheriff's race.
Oh, yeah, definitely, certainly, yeah. Well, look, we'll be right back. Inside of the morning show, we have George Breece and Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Kirk deViere. We'll be right back.
Smokey the Bear.
Then you know why Smokey tells you when he sees you passing through. Remember, please be careful, it's the least that you can do.
Don't play with matches, don't play with fire.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfires.
brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Wondering what to do with your Christmas tree after the holiday season is over? The City of Fayetteville Solid Waste Division has you covered. Set out your tree for collection on your Yard Waste Collection Day. Be sure to remove all tinsel, lights, ornaments, and any other decorations. If a tree has any object on it to include flocking, it will not be collected. To find your Yard Waste Collection Day, visit FayettevilleNC.gov/solid waste and put your address into the generator at the top of the page.
North Carolina's Governor Josh Stein and Department of Commerce Secretary Lee Lilly visited a business in Guilford County on Monday to celebrate North Carolina's growing workforce and go over the state's goals for 2026. The Trump administration is again asserting Greenland should be part of the United States. North Carolina's health officials report 12 new flu-related deaths in the past week, bringing the season's total to 39. Bender County officials said Monday night they have implemented new security measures after scammers stole more than $650,000 in public funding. The price is going up to get your ears lowered. It's an unwelcome trend that's got more than hair clippers buzzing. Feeling downbeat about democracy? You're not alone, according to a new survey. Mike Rayleigh, NCI News.
I'm Jamie Manaselli, WIDU Radio News. The city invites residents to join the city to get updates on the plans for Fire Station 16. Attendees will be able to ask questions and meet the team behind the project. This is Thursday, January 8th, 4 until 6 p.m. at the FSU Business Hub at 1073 Murchison Road. Cumberland County says shape the future of your community. Join them Thursday, January 8th, 6 until 7 p.m. at Southview High School for a community meeting on the Hope Mills area land use plan. Your feedback matters. Can't make it? Take the survey that's posted online. Know before you throw. Used toys do not belong in the blue recycling rollout cart. Dispose of your large toys at the Ann Street landfill or place it at the curb on your designated bulky waste pickup day. To find your bulky waste pickup schedule, go to FayettevilleNC.gov. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Manaselli.
Starting out fairly cool on this Tuesday morning, maybe some patchy fog and temperatures in the low 40s. Heading into the afternoon, it's a mix of clouds and sunshine, high temperatures in the middle 60s. Overnight, mostly cloudy and mild with temperatures near 50 degrees for overnight lows. Heading into the afternoon on Wednesday, high temperatures near 70 degrees with more sunshine, slightly cooler heading into Thursday. For the North Carolina News Network, I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the Weather Center.
Get in shape, gain knowledge, eat better, clean out the garage. Well, all good resolutions, very ambitious and somewhat attainable. At PwC, we have a pretty simple approach to this year's resolutions. Keep doing what we do with excellence. Our community and our customers are the most important thing to us. Providing award-winning service is our goal every year. It's also nice to reflect, be recognized for our efforts, and celebrate recent achievements, like the Public Power Award of Excellence, Gold Award for Exceptional Utility Performance by the Association of Metropolitan Water Agencies, Partnership for Safe Water 25-Year Directors Award, just to name a few. Thank you for trusting your public power utility. We're committed to innovation, reliability, and you. Here's to another year of Fayetteville PwC, moving our community forward. Cheers!
If you have been injured in a motor vehicle collision, you should understand that the insurance company is not on your side. It is the adjuster's job to get by with paying you as little as possible. Call personal injury trial lawyer Brent Adams now for a free no-obligation consultation. Call now, 910-888-8888. Don't hesitate. Call 8. At Brent Adams & Associates, we make things right.
"36 minutes after the hour, we're back. We've been discussing the local filings, and we also just talking politics in general. But anyway, we have the chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Kirk deViere, and also our political expert, analyst, that's George Breece.
Observer.
He said observer, but whatever. So George, now let's go back.
I'm not in my role today as the chairman, though. I'm just
Okay,
speaking,
yeah,
I'm just speaking as me.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so look, if anybody has a problem with him being in here, then come see me. Okay, but anyway, he's invited. Both are invited on my behalf. Let's talk about again the county. So we were talking about the at-large stuff. Now let's talk about District 1, where the legendary Dr. Jeanette Council, she's been there, and like I said, I knew her when she was a part of the state party. Going way back.
She's a force to be reckoned with.
She really is, because she's quiet with it, and she knows how to get it done. I mean, and she was there
She
when...
still does.
Right,
She still
it
does.
was all guys and just her.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, when she first came on, that board made her the chair.
Yeah, I remember that.
When she first came on.
I know.
I mean, I know a little bit of this because I watched it play out.
That's why I was so appreciative when she nominated me this last time, knowing it was her last term, knowing that we're kind of setting a precedent in what she had done when she first came on the board as well. So it was she still is a force to be reckoned with on our board. She's still and she's going to be missed, and but the impact she's had on this community and this state is truly unbelievable.
It's true.
Yeah. We all remembered Tom Baycoat, who passed away.
Correct.
And she came in there, was nominated by the Democratic Party, and then elected. I've said this before, as solid as there ever has been was Jeanette.
Right.
And one thing about Jeanette Council was, and is, when she told you something,
yes, sir,
you didn't have to check back tomorrow afternoon to see if it was a different thing. She had made her decision. And the great thing I take away from the change of where the Crown Event Center was projected and where it's headed today was that Jeanette changed her mind on this.
Correct.
You understand? And that said a lot to me about the true character of her. She saw, I hate to say it, a wrong and made it right. And so did Marshall Faircloth. I give Mark. Right. They saw there was a better way, and there are those high heels can't be filled.
Agree.
That's true. Those stilettos cannot be filled.
But speaking of, who's you can go through the list of who's in there, who's running.
Well, I know there's some Republicans running.
District 1.
District 1.
Not,
Yeah.
In District 1, there's not.
Not District 1.
Not District 1.
Yeah. You've got Larry Wright.
Larry Wright, former member of the city council with the pandemic stuff. I think he was on the council about 9.5 years.
And I served with him when I was on council.
Okay, right.
He and I worked on Pathways
Terry
to
Thomas.
Prosperity.
Terry Thomas, correct.
Mo Murray. Isn't that right? And they're correct. And Sheila. And they're
Cuffey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Glenn Adams.
Correct. The incumbent.
I think that's it. Is there anybody else?
I believe Murray's a pastor.
Right, he is.
And Sheila Cuffey's involved in nonprofit.
Yeah, that's correct.
And has been involved in a lot of community
And
work.
she was on the Human Relations Board.
Correct. And
Right.
she's currently on the Communicare Board, I believe, as well.
Right.
And then, of course, Terry Thomas. If you've been around this community long enough, you know her passion with Vision Resource Center.
Yeah.
Right.
Her drive is why that organization, in my opinion, has what it has and still is where it is.
Right.
And they've got a location and a facility and
Yeah, for the
work that
visually
they do.
impaired,
Right.
she's made her mark there.
Mm-hmm. And I think you and Larry worked hand in hand on one of the better projects in the community years ago.
We did when we served on council together, co-chaired and started Pathways for Prosperity, really focusing on economic prosperity and those opportunities, the poverty levels across the community, and then of course COVID, kind of struck that and kind of turned things upside down a little bit, but some good work there.
I see the District 1 race much closer than people really think.
I do too. I believe that. Look, I would say those guys better watch out because they got some heavy hitting females in there, and they could wind up going home. But look, because you're a numbers guy, the females outnumber the males by a good percentage.
57%.
Right.
And they vote in lockstep a lot of times.
That's true. That's true. If they decide to send the fellas home, that could be interesting.
So come March the 4th, when you're sitting in here that morning after, you may be kind of surprised at how that District 1 race shakes out.
I could very easily be surprised.
Now we got to be honest with you. You got two candidates whose name ID with the voting public
correct
is one. Glenn's got as high a name ID.
He does
as anybody in that race. I mean, that's just the gospel truth. And then you've got Larry, who has some name ID. Has not been in the news like he was when he was on the city council, but he does have a constituency. And then you got Terry and others who really bring a passion for the community. So I'm gonna tell you, that race is much tighter than anybody really assumes. Most people think, oh, well, there's one there, somebody's going to be reelected there for sure. That's a different kind of a race right now.
And to point out the district, a lot of people don't realize where District 1 is. So when you look at kind of the makeup, it's the Murchison Road corridor, it's
correct.
Spring Lake.
Right.
And it's also part of Western Fayetteville, which is the old District 7.
District 7.
When you're looking at city council, so District 7.
Right.
District 3, District 4 on city
right.
council, and then Spring Lake.
Right.
Are really the voting blocks for that district when you really.
How'd Larry do in those district in his district race out? What was his district? Excuse me.
He was District 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was District 7. So the western, kind of parts of western.
You got Southgate, you got Remington, all the area out there around 71st.
Right.
School and all of that.
And then it wraps around in the Spring Lake and then come up Murchison Road.
Right.
So it's
Strickland Bridge Road.
So is
Bunch
this
Road.
building in District 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Of course, yes.
Is Fayetteville State in District 1?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
I think that when you talk about zip codes, probably a large portion of it is going to be 28301, right?
Huh.
Or
no, I mean, I don't know about zip codes, but
I think zip code wise, I think I'm correct with that.
Yeah, I'm terrible at zip codes. I can just look at communities.
I got you.
I can't tell you my zip code.
I can't tell you where the boundary
somebody
line.
else.
I just know I can see on the map where District 1 is.
I got you.
When it comes to communities and neighborhoods like you were mentioning, because over the years I've knocked a lot of those doors through there.
That's correct. I got you. So, but that's going to be interesting. Again, this is the whole Board of Commissioner race. But I got a question for both of y'all. But what about this? So look, you don't really want to be campaigning while the municipal election is going on. So, you kind of want that to end before you go the other way. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
thank you, ma'am.
You got to wait for that to end, and that ends, and then they're sworn in on December 1st, and that's the same time that the door opens for filing for these other races. So if you don't already have name recognition, you only have about 90 days to make it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, but let's be honest, Troy. Most voters, especially when you're trying to, build your ID and understand that you're running, really wake up 30 to 45 days before during the election period. So that window of communicating, if you're going to use dollars to do it, you're going to use media like radio and mail and digital and those types of things. You're going to do it in a 30 to 60 day window before the election and try to build your name ID right, for the voter that's, just trying to live their life every day and kind of wakes up around the election and says, I need to make sure I go vote for somebody that's going to take care of me as well.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something to be said, and you saw a couple of candidates do it this time. They got out ahead of it, and we're talking about they were going to run, and they were showing up at places and showing up in the community and saying they were running. And I think that's beneficial, whether there's a municipal race going on or not. I mean, letting people know where you stand and what you're going to do is important.
Yes, it is. Amen. Again. So let's, if we can, speak about the at-large race and then the sheriff's race before this is over. So tell me if I'm wrong here. At-large, Faircloth, Jones, Benavente, Evans, Stewart, and Wesley.
Right.
That's the lineup. And there's only two are going to come out of there.
Right.
You got a vice chair who's running. You got a former chair and vice chair who's running. You got a former chair and vice chair who's running. You got a former chair and vice chair who's running. I mean, you just look at this. And so I've always felt that in that race that Charles Evans has kind of had a constituency that nobody can come to the table with. In other words, I think he has a solid group of people. The real question is how will that play out in this race? Marshall has been for decades, gone, come back, understands it, can as the old saying goes, he can look at a financial statement and explain it. So I just don't know how all of this is going to work out for some of these people. I'll be real honest with you.
Well, I think one thing is that former Commissioner Evans, I believe that out of his own concern, that he's expressed this to a number of people. How will he be viewed after this? Because, he ran for Congress, and then he raised money for a state Senate seat that he wound up spending for a race for mayor.
Right.
That constituency that you're talking about, I believe that.
You think it's been kind of shaken?
Some of them have been affected by that because there are some people that ask for money back.
Right.
So I don't know. I can't call it.
Right, I understand.
But it's not like he hasn't had some non-political successes.
Right.
Since he was a county commissioner.
Right. Well, when he ran for Congress, in the 7th district, in the Democratic primary, he was defeated by a fellow from down in Robeson County.
Correct.
And he didn't get the votes in Cumberland County that he thought he was going to get.
Correct. I agree.
I mean, he really underperformed here.
Right.
And so, we'll see how all that shakes out. But I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who have been in leadership roles in the county, on county commissioner, and there's 4 of them are going to come up short.
Well, I believe that this council here, and I don't know because I was listening to Kirk talk, and he was talking about how voters are going to operate. So I'll admit, I'm not your normal voter, so to speak. I'm not your normal voter, so I don't think the way they think.
That's right.
So I'm not thinking 30 to 40 days, 45 days. I don't think that way. But, you know, I believe that this board here, for me, from where I'm sitting, they have placed a wider emphasis on things, and I believe that that could affect how people look at the potential candidates and who they might vote for.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
that speaks to incumbency too.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm saying because see, let's go back to when Charles made that historic run in 2010, and was the first African American to get elected in 25 years
At large.
At large, that was a different time.
15 years ago.
And what people were thinking about and how they felt about the Board of Commissioners, I believe that they're beginning to feel different about them. Because, look, I hear people talking all the time. They don't understand what the role of the Board of Commissioners is versus the city, or even the Board of Education.
Yeah.
Because they be asked, y'all need to do X, Y, Z with the schools, and city councilman like, look, we're not responsible for that. You know what I mean?
I do.
So people don't understand, but I think now people are more aware, at least I hope they are, as to the role of the Board of Commissioners, and I believe it's going to cause people to look at these candidates in a different way.
Well, the county commissioners have moved their view in this community to the tip of the spear.
Right.
Okay. And so now the voters are going to say, who do I want to put at the tip of the spear? Who do I want to join this group that's moving forward?
Right.
That's the real question. And I think that you hit the nail on the head. They're going to probably look at some candidates a little bit different than they have in the past. I think this is where Greg West gets wind in his sails, in my opinion, honestly.
And I'll just say, you look at the incumbency side, with, and I want to be, well, when you look at the incumbency side, you talk about a historic run in 2010. Veronica Jones never had run before for office, was a lead vote getter.
Yeah.
Back in 22.
Right.
41,000 votes.
Yeah.
Second, female elected at large. You look at Marshall Faircloth, came back on, was the second vote getter in 2022. And then you got Tony Stewart, who won District 2.
That was historic.
That was historic as well. So there's constituency bases along with it. You look at the incumbency factor, and if there is a positive, if there's a positive view of the Board of Commissioners across the community, does that help the incumbency? And does that hurt someone that comes in and says, well, this board isn't doing this, and this, and I want to do this, versus saying, hey, I want to work with them to make better investments in education.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because, I think some folks are going to come to the table and, my thing is homelessness. Okay, well, we've been talking about that for a minute.
Yeah.
And, of course, that should be a concern for any human person, not to want to see people hurting that are unhoused in our community. However, y'all have a big budget. How much y'all budget?
Oh, our budget's huge. But as far as the amount that we put into homelessness over the years has been minimal.
That's I'm saying, right. But still, I'm saying is that if you're going to make that your issue, though, I don't know how well it's going to play out. There's some other things that didn't happen that you guys are contributing to the schools.
Yeah, that's right.
The people with clean water out
That's
there
right.
in the western part of the county.
I'm just going to be interested to listen to what the candidates talk about and what they think is important. And when they make their initial statements and you hear the issues that they talk about when they roll their campaign out, for me as a voter, for me as kind of a politico in some ways, watching what they talk about tells you what their priorities are.
Well, I want to see a good debate. I want to say,
but I want to see a real debate. Like, let's not do this
right.
1 minute, 2 minute. Like, let people have a conversation about, let them get
absolutely.
past, let them get past the door hanger politics and the sound bites, and actually, can you articulate what a homelessness plan is? Can you articulate why, what's happening in the schools? Can you articulate what water and sewer and what we need to do? Not just, we got contaminated water, or we got freaking, we need to fund the teachers. Okay, how? How are you going to do that?
Well, this board is talking about Tier 1 and Cumberland County getting out of Tier 1, which I think if you don't talk about those kind of things, if you don't talk about affordable housing, all you're talking about is warehousing a problem on a cold night. It has to go beyond that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say, you said this and Kirk said it too. If you are an incumbent county commissioner, and it doesn't matter what you've supported or voted for or voted against or railed about or ranted about, you get help in this election for being a member of the Cumberland County Board of Commissioners right now. Okay. There's a certain dynamic at the tip of this spear, and it helps an incumbent, regardless of where they voted in the process.
Right.
And so I would say that being a Cumberland County Commissioner and running for re-election in today's world is an asset for you, regardless of how you got there, if that makes sense to y'all.
Right. We'll see.
I know you got much time. I want to hear George's perspective on the sheriff race, because it's
okay.
I think it's going to be very interesting.
We got 4
and your
minutes.
background too, Troy, in that space, so it'd be interesting.
So how about the sheriff's race?
Yeah,
we got just a few minutes left here.
Yeah, go.
That was one that kind of got flipped on its head, so to speak.
It did.
And the former sheriff is pressing down pretty hard. When he has his picture taken with the candidate that's filing a run against the person that he put together, the support for that person to become the sheriff, is politically dysfunctional as it comes.
Right.
And that doesn't, not speaking ill of anyone, but some people have said, and a friend of mine said, well, the present sheriff brought it on himself. Well, I don't know, I don't know. I'm not down at the courthouse. Well, I'm not down at the sheriff's department, so I don't know what
happened.
Really what happened. But the truth is, it is a dynamic. I mean, you go Nig Clark, Oddish Jones, Morris Bedsoe. I mean, Moose Butler. I mean, you go back. All of these guys.
I served under 2 of them.
They all
Jones and Bedsoe.
They brought along their team, and they,
right.
The only one that kind of got flipped on it was when Moose lost his first race for sheriff, and then he came back and won. So I don't know if the voters, shouldn't use the word damn on this radio station, but I don't know if they give a damn about what a former person thinks about the present. I don't know if that's the case, if that's going to be the deciding factor. It could be.
Didn't that happen with Sheriff Clark and Otis Jones, though?
Well, kind of, but not to this extent.
Not to this extent, but that was a long time back. Yeah. That had to be back in the 60s, actually. Mm-hmm. But he left, and then he kind of passed it off to Jones, and then it was something that Jones didn't do the way he wanted to do.
Right.
And he came back, and he didn't run against him. Did he run against him, or did he?
And got beat bad.
So he came back and tried to run against him, correct? That was the story, right? Back. Yeah. But no, so that was before my time.
The point is just the public. Right. Everybody down at the county government structure, they're living it every day. That's but just the public out here get it. And so if the present sheriff wants to, can run and talk about the positive things that are going on, that's one thing. The real question is the animosity. And I like him. I think he's a good guy. But is the animosity going to rule the day in the Democratic primary?
And can they get the message out? Can they get that message out? Can they get his name outside of certain areas?
But you see, actually, probably the guy running may have more name recognition than the incumbent.
And
You know what I mean?
I think that's that's why I think this race is going to be interesting. You've got a sitting sheriff that was appointed,
Right.
but he is the sheriff, and you've got now someone that has name ID.
Go ask somebody on the street though who he is.
That's right. No,
And-
I'm
right.
not saying.
I know, right.
But
I know, right.
I mean, go down in Beaver Dam and ask somebody who any of them are, and I mean, they may not. And you got to remember, this is an at-large district.
This is
Yeah.
true. This is true. This is true.
This is
Well,
all
look.
of Cumberland County. I mean, it's going to be interesting.
Well, look, I'm gonna have to bring you guys back, man. Well,
It's
look.
77 precincts, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Well, look,
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, George. George comes in and he helps us out. And George, you got to come back when all this is over with after the primary. Come on,
Well,
man.
there'd be 218,800 people voting that are registered to vote. I hope we can get to 40%. I really do. If you look back real quick, let me just say here, in 2022 the primary was 16%. In 2022 it was 40%. In 2020 the primary was 24%. In 2020 so the general election's been 60-40-40. I'm just hopeful that we can get to 40% in the general election.
Yes, sir. Well, look,
You think
Chairman-
we can? You think we can?
I'm hopeful. I think you're going to see a lot of energy around this primary.
Yeah.
Kirk deViere and George Breece and our producer, Paul Matthews. We out of here, and I'll be back. I see you.